So we're on Google Earth. I thought I'd just show you this before I take you on the ground. 1999. So it had 50,000 passengers in 1999, built by Sheffield Development Corporation, who had vision. So they said the runway wasn't long enough to take long haul flights, but I think it could have been extended along here to here, taking some of these buildings out, also extended along here over this roadway. And I think they could have got 1,600 metres out of it, which would have been the same as London City. But I never saw this for long range package tours anyway. I saw it more for business travellers around the UK, but also for people going on holiday to continental Europe. But like I said, even with the current airport, they could have actually extended it. So 2018 came along. They had a plane that had 120 capacity and could do 2,000 miles. So it would have made it even more cost effective just to use that short runway rather than extending it to 1,600. But like I said, you've got either option. But if you actually look along here, this is Tinsley marshalling yards. I reckon you could have got a 2,500 metre runway down here to complement this one as well for expansion in the future. So let's just go in the future to now. So you can see on Tinsley marshalling yards all this building that's now gone off. On the runway they're now building on it. This is the university. But you've still got the arrival, departure, lounge, etc. You've still got the control tower. If I just zoom back, just give it back at 1999. They're back in 1999. So let's get on the ground now and talk about why Sheffield City Airport was closed down. I want to show you how well situated it was. There's Catcliffe Retail Park down there. Advanced Manufacturing Park and Waverley over there. Up there, take you into town. About 3 or 4 miles into town from here. So this is what they're building on the airport site. Welcome to Sheffield Business Park. And we're just moving into the city of Sheffield. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually on this side, on the right hand side, whether this is classed as Rotherham or not, or Rotherham Borough, or this is part of Waverley or not, Advanced Manufacturing Park, or whether this comes across into Sheffield. It's so difficult to know the boundaries around here. But to me it was a massive tragedy. It should never have happened. So you can see these massive new units. That's Octopus Energy there running along the side of the parkway. I've walked a bit further along. Now I don't know if Europa Avenue was here originally. I don't think it was, because you went further around there to access the airport. So the airport was opened in 1997, peak traffic 1999, and closed in 2002. It had the licence taken away in 2008. There was plans to try and reopen it 2012, 2014, but that never happened. But the thing is, Peel Holdings got hold of it in 2002. By that time the traffic had dipped, but they were supposed to be running it as a viable airport, which they never did. They got hold of it for £1. They also got hold of Doncaster Sheffield Robin Hood Airport, and I always said that it was a Trojan horse to develop, that all the infrastructure was in, same as Sheffield Airport, the infrastructure was in, the roads were put in after it was open, cast mined. So to me, I blame Peel Holdings for it. They could have run it as a viable airport, but they had no intention. And then they did the same with Doncaster as well. But one of the issues was 2002. It was a Liberal controlled Sheffield City Council. I think the Greens were wagging the tail, and there was no incentive to have the airport. They didn't want it. think it was Peter Moore who was the leader of the Liberal Party, if I've got that right. It's definitely a Moore anyway. So we're sort of coming up to the actual airport, and you've still got all the old buildings just here. But I just wanted to show you that Boeing factory, built on what would have been the actual runway area, or where it could have been extended. So Peel Holdings acquired the site for £1, then started developing it, but at the moment this part is actually owned by Sheffield University now, so I don't know if Peel Holdings sold some of the actual land onto them or not. It's a bit difficult to understand exactly what's gone off. It's probably smoke of mirrors. But there you can see the helicopter maintenance building. But like I said, the actual aerodrome, it's going to come across here, could have been extended across there right through where that Boeing building is now. If you've got any more information than me, please let me know. So there you've got a sign for University of Sheffield at AMRC. I just don't get this. Probably somebody can explain it with me. The university is there to, I thought, to educate people. So what they're doing in manufacturing, is it some sort of tax break? Somebody can probably explain that. So you can now start to see the control tower. You can see the arrival departure place there. Just here was the helicopter maintenance, and it's still got all the signs on it. But like I said, the sort of runway was coming down from over there, and it could have been extended across there kind of. But you saw the actual aerial view of it, me showing you I'm extending it at either end. Just here you can still see the helicopter landing pads marked out, 2 of them. I think it's still operated with helicopters for the police and emergency services for some time after. There you got the building for the fire service, etc. This would have been here previously, but not a parking lot for Sheffield Business Centre. And I'll just go around to the front because that's where people would have come when they were coming on holiday. But it's a learning curve for me. I do the videos and I learn things myself, so I'm not a know-it-all. I don't profess to be. I do it more for debate than anything. But just here you can see the control towers still exist, and I was told it was some sort of IT company actually took it over, so you've still got the exact complete building. Now I was up there in 1999 with John Owen, who was the guy running it, and he come from London City, and he was really positive. That time it was 50,000 passenger flights a year, and he was expecting 250,000 next. But you can just see some of these awful university buildings around here, and that's what the university seem to have got hold of the rest of the site. You'll see where I believe Peel Holdings built on the site or down the side of the site, but it seems to be the university's got the land where the actual aerodrome was. So how much did they pay for that land? Or was it a guilt trip with Peel Holdings? I don't know. So if I'd have carried on around Europa Link Road, it'd been quite a lot further walk, so I cut through where the Boeing factory is, but I would have turned off here onto Europa Court, and this was the original entranceway into the actual airport. So we're now around the front where people had come for the holiday. I'm not sure exactly where the parking was for people coming on holiday, but I think all these new buildings around here have been added since. Probably these were done by Peel Holdings. We'll get further down. There's actually two police buildings around this area as well at Tinsley. There's one down there, but I'm not going there, I'm going somewhere else. You can see some of the buildings around here, absolutely no character, soulless, aren't they? So we've walked a bit away from the control tower, but just imagine the runway was running down there. I'm going to show you it running the other direction now. So there is the runway there, and I'm going to get to the bottom end of it to show you from there, and then just imagine it was running along there. Like I said, it could have been extended at both ends, as you saw on my aerial view of it all. So I'm just going to nip down the side of here onto a footpath. But I'm actually about the same distance from Doncaster as I am from Sheffield, but I drive this way into Sheffield every week. It's not more than 20 minutes for me to get here. So much more convenient than Doncaster Airport. But my belief is Peel Holdings had no intention of making Sheffield Airport viable, and I think they proved exactly what I said with Doncaster, where I warned people from day one. They shut Doncaster down, but they weren't allowed to do it by the council this time. But my view is that it would have complemented Doncaster Airport this anyway. So we'll just get round the corner. So I'm now around the back of the university buildings. You can see these steel poles all the way down the runway. I don't think it's out to do with the airport, but I could be wrong. All the actual asphalt's been ripped up round here. Now you can see that they've built a lot more buildings down this side than was there on the original picture back in 1999, before the airport was shut down. There you've got the old steel shed, which I think is redundant now. And I'm going to go down to the bottom of the runway. So I'm just going to show you a big mound at the bottom. So there's the English Sports Institute, and just to the left of it you should be able to see a big mound. So I'm going to go down there. I'm close to the bottom of the runway. Note the buildings on the left hand side, but also this hill on the right hand side, which you'd have seen on the overhead. So Sheffield had to wait until Tinsley City Airport was opened, but previously they looked at sites at Todwick, close to me, junction 31 of the motorway, also Norton, and I think Ecclesfield as well. So using that as a marker that you saw at the other end, you can see the English Sports Institute, and I'm absolutely sure the runway could have been extended a lot further along here, even if they'd had to repossess buildings. But I think a lot of them weren't built down here, because that looks pretty new, that building there. So if I swing round, I'll take you back up to the terminal buildings, just up there. And motor point just over there. So that's it. If you can like the video, follow the channel and click on notifications for new videos in the future, I'd appreciate it. But if you can throw any more light on this situation. So the figures I get £100 million to actually build it and sold on for £1.